Good evening, folks, and welcome to Jaytalk. And of course, we have Mr. Silky Smooth, Nick from the Nick Tribe.
Oh, cool, baby.
I'm sorry, I was getting
And
into the music.
we were both fighting that one.
Yeah, I know. That
We were
was.
both fighting being silly with that.
The music's kind of like really great. Okay, we'll turn it up just for a notch so people.
That was cracking me. All I could think of was Barry White.
There you go. Exactly.
How's it going, man?
Good evening, honey. How you doing? Yeah, exactly. There you go. What is it? What is it, Joey from Friends? How you doing?
No. How you doing?
Exactly.
No. How you doing?
Exactly. There you go. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
It's
Good day. Busy, went by quick. Got some stuff done. Had some failures, had some successes. All part of the day.
It's all part of life, isn't it?
That's right. That's right.
So,
How you doing? No. How you
how
doing?
you doing? I'm good. I'm good. Just recovering. I'm sure a lot of people will be like, "What? Wait, what? He's wearing glasses?" Yes, I'm wearing glasses.
Nobody would have said or noticed anything. They'd have just thought you got a new pair of glasses. Because
I
when I first saw them, I'm like, "You got a new pair of glasses?" That's all I thought. I
I
didn't
know.
think.
I know.
Then I had to honestly think, did he wear glasses before? Never. You
Yeah.
that's funny.
No, it is. It is. Yeah. No.
That's hard too, man. Because some people come up to you and go, "Well," and you're like, "Oh no, they changed something."
Yeah.
Her
Exactly.
hair. If it's a female, maybe her makeup style, or she got it.
Right.
Or if it's a guy, you're like, get a haircut, lose some weight. What do you get? You got a booger hang? What are you doing?
Yeah. Exactly.
And you're panicking because they put you on the spot.
See, I always like those because it's funny because I make a joke out of it. They always get angry at me, but I always make a joke
Oh
about it.
yeah, they shouldn't put. I would never put somebody on the spot. I go, hey, I got a haircut.
Right.
That if I said that now, that would be funny.
Right. But
But
yeah, I ask people all the time, hey, I got the sides shaved off. How's it look? What do you think?
yeah, you let them know. Focus on this
Yeah.
instead of going, well, what do you think?
Right.
And you're like, you know, panic.
I know.
Because if you don't get it right, then they feel bad.
I know.
And you're like, damn.
So yeah. So funny responses to that. Did you gain 5 pounds?
That's not funny. If you look like you lost some weight,
I know, yeah, that's better, but that's not as
Yeah.
funny. I mean, come on, let's
Right.
be honest. Wait, are you a year older?
That's funny.
Yeah, okay. Did you get a new gray hair?
Oh no, that's not funny.
See? I'm a horrible person. I think of the craziest stuff. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, it's all about fun. Don't ask me that question because, I'm going to be like, yeah, what? You got a new pimple? Yeah.
Oh no. I would never say that to
Yeah, but
oh
what if it
no.
was another guy?
Oh, well, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, exactly. Oh
Nice
my
zit,
god. Yeah, I know. But see, I'm single, so I can make those jokes.
Right, well,
So that's probably
you still
why I'm
have to walk. You're
single.
not gonna walk up to your mother and go, "Did you gain 5 pounds?" Oh, she'd beat you.
Yeah, she would. I wouldn't say that to my mom. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she
Go,
said,
"Oh, well,
"How do I look?" You look wonderful, mom.
you are the best ever."
Yeah, exactly. So anyway.
See, and that's kinda funny because this little conversation kinda rolls us right into what we're gonna talk about tonight.
Oh, really? What are we talking about tonight?
We're gonna talk about green flags in
Okay.
all relationships.
And dating.
Oh, yeah, I've got a list of 16 things that you need to do to create a good relationship from the start.
Oh.
and talking about a dating relationship.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
No, but we can also talk about relationships within family, within friends. You and I could start it off really good.
Right. So I.
How you and I have started off our friendship with communication, and we learned our boundaries over the years.
Oh yeah. No. 100%. But
So see, that's a big, big deal.
Right.
Because nobody wants to get their feelings hurt. You
No.
know,
No. But green flags is I have some in that. We'll also throw in some green flags for dating websites.
oh well, yeah, there you go.
Because that's funny too. Trying to review these profiles and yeah, there's some pretty good funny profiles out there. I gotta admit.
Well, I'd say if I look at a profile and there's a nude in there, that's a green flag. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Whatever. Shut up. Even if it was a nude of a guy.
Well, more power to him.
I know, right? There you go.
I don't judge. I don't judge.
Okay, whatever. Sorry. Anyway, okay. So yeah, green flags. There you go. Man, we talk about red flags all the time and all the negatives. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, this will be
It's
good.
positive, doing something positive. So no, yeah. Yeah. That was funny.
We have to move forward there, Jay.
Let's move forward. Okay, yeah. Yeah, green
Well, I
flag.
can even
Green
start the first
flag.
one
Yeah,
on
green flag.
green flag.
Go ahead.
I can even start off this one. It doesn't matter whether it's uh, a dating relationship or mother son, father daughter,
Right.
brother sister, brother brother. This one right here will kick off everything.
Okay.
And it just basically it's 3 words. They listen well.
Oh yeah. See.
Any relationship that you're in, if the
Okay.
people don't listen or they're all about themselves,
Right.
you know, that's a negative, and that's one of the things that really well, they don't really care about what I care about.
Right.
If I come to you and I'm saying, "Oh my," I'm right in the middle of trying to buy a house right now, or I'm looking for a house and it's stressful. And if you're not looking at me and you're turning away and you're doing other things, or you interrupt me while I'm talking in about something
I'm
that's
just
on your
messing with
mind.
you.
I mean,
Yeah, I know. Right.
did you just go off the stage? Yeah, yeah, I'm pissed off now.
I'm just teasing, folks. It's
Okay,
just
now
it's. I was providing an example. You
yeah,
know.
it was a perfect example because that's what it is. If you can take the time to listen to what they're talking about, engage in what they're talking about. I mean, even if you're not interested in it, but you love that person no matter what, whether it's a friend, a lover, a mother, father, whatever.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Listening to somebody when they have something they're passionate about or they're struggling with, take the time to listen to what they're saying, not just hear the words.
Right.
That's a huge green flag.
No, it really is, and I will agree with you. And I think we've made this mention in previous podcast. It's equal effort, and so
Yes.
when you talk about that equal effort, it's listening is the same scenario because, like you said, most of the time when you're on a first date, you're going to let the girl talk 85% of the time. But
If you can get her to talk, yes.
yes, but if she's not at least 15 to 20% of the time trying to ask you, things about you, trying to learn about you,
Right.
and she spends the 100% of the time just focused on herself.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of what you're talking about. It's not really conducive. So the green
I
flag
have been
is,
on a few dates like that
I know. So have I.
where I asked questions, they answered the question, and then went silent. And
Right,
then I asked, I started the conversation, asked a question, they went.
right. But see, that's a great point. Green flag is if you can find someone that is engaging. I guess, is that the best word for it?
I can't think of one better.
Yeah, it's engaging.
I mean, if they're engaged, they're interested in concerned about what your passion or struggle is at the point.
Right, exactly. And they're
Yeah,
they're if they're engaged, they wanna know who you are.
right.
I mean, let's just be honest.
I mean,
So,
even when you've been with somebody for a while, I love this. This is great because it just reminded me of some of the things that I've had to deal with in my past relationships.
okay.
After work, when we meet up or we're going to cook dinner or go out to dinner, or whatever, they would talk and talk about their work and their this, da, 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 and just nonstop talk, 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 talk. And if I was to say anything, they they would go blank. So you could see they're looking at you, but you could obviously tell the look on their face, they're not listening, they're not paying attention. And as soon as you give an opening between sentences, they jump right back into their work.
Right.
So I'd say, okay, here's what we're going to do. When we get off work, we can come up with a time, whatever it is, that you get to talk about work for 30 minutes. I get to talk about work for 30 minutes. No more work anymore. The
Right.
rest of it's about us.
Right.
And they're like, okay, it sounds good. The next day, same thing. I mean, I could have said I got my leg cut off or a cow walked into the office and they would have just went just like this.
Mhm.
Because they're only thinking about themselves and their mind and that narcissistic thing.
Right.
And that's a red flag, but if they listened, it would be a green flag.
Right.
And I would probably still be with them today. Because if you're going to take the time to listen, you're going to take the time to that's a key to getting in the door to understanding the person that you're with or you're dating or you're in love with
Right. It's the
or
gateway, the door. Yes, exactly.
yes.
Because if you don't even listen, you don't even make it to the understanding part.
How can you possibly live a life where you don't even know the person that you're with because you're too busy worrying about yourself?
Yeah. I
You
know.
know,
I know.
I want to shut up and listen to everything they're saying because I want to know who they are inside out and backwards.
Right.
You know, and being an empath like that, I want to make sure I don't step out of my boundaries. I don't say something, you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So I'm gonna listen and listen good.
Right.
Yeah,
See,
I
and
like that one.
I like to listen too, but I accept the fact that I'm going to say something that, it's not going to be right.
Well,
Let's
we
just
all
be
slip
honest.
up. I didn't say we were all perfect by any stretch of the imagination. No,
Yeah, I know. I'm just, that's just a given for me.
right?
Uh, so
But I mean, that's all part of it.
right,
You're letting this person know who you are,
exactly,
and
exactly.
can they accept the silly things? I always have some kind of sexual innuendo to everything. That's why Paul loves me
Yeah, I agree.
because he's fun with it too, right?
Right,
And we do that for the humor part of it, and we cut up, and that's our thing. I've dated women that are very uncomfortable with joking around about that.
yeah, me too.
That's a problem,
I know. Yeah,
but you know, if they're not understanding and I need to find somebody that doesn't have a problem cutting up. If you say something and it has some kind of sexual connotation to it, you bet I'm gonna jump right in there.
right, exactly. But here's the
And
flip
it's
side.
habit.
Well, but here's the whole thing. If you're with a group of friends, that is your normal group of friends,
Right.
and you start dating someone, you need to understand how they act in front of their friends because that's going to be the key to understanding sometimes them. You are the most natural when you're with your friends,
Absolutely.
you know?
Absolutely.
And
And see, that's it, when you're nervous about bringing your new date around your friends, that's not good.
no, it's not.
No.
No.
That's where the communication starts to fall apart. If you can't be yourself, and I've been bad about that. I'm like, I really like this person, but I really can't be who I am around them. But I won't worry about it. And then it turns in a thing,
Yeah.
and that turns into a thing. It's my fault
Right.
because I should have went. You know what? No,
Boundary.
yeah.
Boundary.
I superseded my boundary levels and went, "Oh no, it'll get better. She'll get used to me." No,
Right.
that doesn't work that way. You know?
It's funny because you're sitting there talking about this, and I'm looking at this. So I've been looking at some green flags too, but these are mainly focused on the dating and dating profiles.
Right.
And I look up as you're talking about this. I look up and literally listen to this. It says you both share jokes, traumas, saliva. Sharing is caring, unless it's food, of course.
Did you throw that last part in, or is
No,
it really
it's
said?
actually on there. It really is on there.
What?
Yeah, it's on there.
That's so funny. I've dated women where we'd go out to dinner and we'd order one meal and
I know.
split it
I know.
and feed each other.
I know.
That's hot. That's hot.
I know. And I know. That's going to be a tough one
Nothing
for me.
nothing better to be fed by a beautiful woman. That's the
I
best.
know, but
Just saying.
I know. Well, if she feeds me from my plate, I won't have a problem with it.
Oh, but if you're swapping spit or
I
saliva, how
know,
you
I
say
know,
it,
I know.
she should be able to touch your
I wasn't
food.
swapping spit with Sabero though, so
Oh,
yeah.
oh yeah, no, that's a whole story. That's a whole story we talked about
Anyway,
later.
let's get back to let's get back.
Right.
I just find it funny that you're sitting here talking about this, the jokes and the being together, and it's literally I look up and it says you both share. And
Right.
that's the ironic, you share the same joke, share the same,
Sense of humor.
sense of humor, sick
Yes.
personality, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
sick sense of humor. I mean, it's funny as
Yep.
hell. But it's just the ironic part that I literally look over and it's like, jokes, traumas, and saliva. It was just like, oh God,
But
that's
yeah,
great.
but food.
Sharing is caring. I mean, come on, that's hilarious.
That's what I say.
Oh my
I'll
God.
share.
That's
I'm a
great.
sharer.
There you
I'm a
go.
share.
Yeah, exactly. So,
And see, that leads into the next thing that's on my list is it
okay.
says they're comfortable talking about their feeling.
Okay.
That's a definite green flag when somebody can look at you and say, there was this little situation that happened the other day. It really kind of caught me off guard. I'd like to talk to you about it.
Right.
They need to be comfortable to be able to talk to you about that.
Right.
You
But
need to allow them
excuse me.
to be comfortable enough to say, he's not going to bite my head off or he's not going to come at me with some attitude.
He's not
He's
going to
going to
use this to
actually
get
listen,
me in
or
the
she's going to actually
future.
listen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying, take it in a stride. Now, there might be a discussion about it. Like, I didn't think that way. I've had a lot of that,
Right.
hey, this little situation kind of caught me off guard. I'm like, this is my thought process when I said what I said or did what I did or the situation that happened.
Right.
And once they understand that, we both understand, okay, I need to remember to, take it back a notch, or I need to focus on whatever because they're sensitive about that.
Right.
That's good communication. That's,
It is. It is
and you
100%.
you have to make you've got to make people feel comfortable with you. You just have to.
Right.
No, you can't just walk up to somebody and go, "Oh, you can say or do anything to me." Well, that's not true because we all have feelings and we all might get a little butt hurt,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, being comfortable about talking about your feelings, that's a big deal.
That is a good one. I like that one. That one's a really good
Yeah.
one. Okay. So, there was I'm looking through these. So, okay, so folks, he's looking at one um that's what is it? What is the one you're looking
It's
at?
it's it's let me go all the way to the top here. 16 green flags to look for in a new relationship from a dating coach.
Yeah, see now that one's kind of cool. Mine was 62 dating green flags that shout this one's a keeper. Okay?
Oh,
and
62? Wow, that's a hell of a list.
yeah, I know, right?
You better bring you a portfolio and a pen with you when you get there.
I know, right? So,
Okay,
but the
whoops,
funny thing
good job,
is,
check. Good
well,
job, check.
but they're really good. Some of them are very interesting. Okay, and I thought this was they all kind of pull together into the 16 you're talking about.
Right,
And that's the really the interesting thing. This one is more focused, but like you mentioned, one, and I'm like, okay, well, these three apply to the one you just talked about. And I'm like
right.
looking down, and it's like, so a good example, it's the conversation flows. That's a green flag. But that means both people are contributing. There's engagement. I'm going to go back to that word engagement. That's huge.
Yes.
Okay. Um, they're not afraid to look silly. Sixth sense of humor.
Big
It's
deal, big
yes,
deal.
it really is a big deal.
You can't make fun of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And then they say they're interested in you. Engagement. It's not just a good listener. This is interesting. Not just a good listener, but an active one.
wow, right?
That's an interesting because it's like they literally follow that up with anyone can sit and nod and keep for 10 minutes while their date unloads something. Every grievance from graduation, but are they truly listening? Or are they just kind of like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They're not really
Good job, good job.
engaged. Yeah, they're not active. They're not engaged in that listening,
Right.
and I'm going to use the engagement line a lot tonight. So just you might as well accept it, folks. So, but I find that one interesting. Not just a good listener, but an active one. That is a good
Important,
line. Sort of
right?
like our nice guy versus kind guy.
Yeah,
Technically, they're similar, but they're not quite the same. So
right.
listening is great, but the difference between a good listener and an active listener is going to put you over the top.
Well, that's a perfect here's a perfect example. If somebody's telling you a situation or a story,
Right.
while they're telling you that story, an active listener would ask questions
Right.
about your story.
Right.
Wow, did you really do that? Or wow, did that really happen? Where were you?
Or, dang,
Engage
that
in
sucks. Really,
yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of this next one that I've got in my list. I don't want to jump on it just yet, but it's the same thing. Being an active listener, I think that is phenomenally important.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so if you had,
Because a
if you,
lot of
go ahead.
because a lot of times you might want the feedback. Sometimes we have a bad day at work, we want to come home and we just want you to listen. Don't say and I've done that in relationships before. I'm like, look, I'm going to vomit for about 15 minutes. All I want you to do is listen.
Right.
You don't have to say anything. I don't need you to solve a problem, but this really got under my skin and this is what happened.
Right.
So they get a chance to listen to that part of you and understand, wow, this he's sensitive to this or she's you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that puts them a little bit more aware of your emotions, your feelings, and your communication.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So,
yeah.
yeah, active
But most
listening
of
is
the
really
time it's
good. I like that one.
yeah, that's really awesome.
Right.
That
Okay.
that like I said, that rolls right into they have high self-awareness.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of wanted to read through it because, like, okay, what does that mean? And it includes being aware of their emotions, behaviors, hopes, dreams, fears, and patterns, as well as the actions may affect others.
Okay.
So, so that's a tough thing for people to do.
And the funny thing is ah, I don't know. I don't necessarily think we're at 100%, but I think we're pretty high up there on self-aware. I really do. We've done a lot of self growth
Right.
through the years, and through our friends and through the podcast.
Yes.
Because the more we talk, the more we learn, the more we research, the more we are constantly trying to, because we bring content to our listeners, and if we don't actually have a little bit idea of what the hell we're talking about, well, what's the point?
Exactly.
And some of it is just life experiences. Yes, these websites are kind of a nice feed point, I guess you could say. They have, but they don't actually, they don't talk about it. They don't get in depth on some of these things. And it's really, you can apply it to your life and how and so that's part
Right.
of our self growth, our self
It's
awareness.
a vague it's a vague quick paragraph
Right.
for you to think about how that applies to you.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead. Next. Are you good? Any
Oh,
comments on
no.
that one?
No, that was it. I was just saying, having high self-awareness, that's tough. That's a tough thing because you have to be in touch with you.
Right.
Your emotions, you know where your limits are, your rules. That's a tough thing to I
Your
didn't know
boundaries.
your I my mother's told me that for decades, and I never listened. I wasn't an active listener. I paid attention and I knew what she was talking about, but I never really said, I need to apply that.
Right.
I'm learning that now that, okay, wait a minute, I need to set a boundary here and say it like that.
Right.
If you have an active partner that's okay, okay, I'm listening, what
Right.
is this boundary? All right. And here's a perfect example. And this happened in my life recently. And this is really funny. So it'll make you laugh. I only wear like footy socks with everything, with boots, with tennis shoes, with loafers, whatever. Now,
Ankles,
huh?
low cut ankles types.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
like footy socks, right?
Okay.
So I don't like when I wash my clothes, when get my socks, I just pile them all up and shove them in the drawer. Now they're all the same,
Right.
so it doesn't matter if. Now after a while, you can see I mistakenly wore one like 75 times in a row, and this one over here is brand new. I mean, you can see that. But one of the things that I just it drives me crazy, and I don't know why, is taking the socks and folding them inside out of each other.
Okay.
Okay. I don't like that because what happens? One sock gets stretched out and one's nice and snug.
Right.
So I'm like, and somebody came into my room at this particular time of my life, and I was in the sock drawer doing something. Maybe I was finishing
Right.
putting them in there, and she, as a kind person, started grabbing, looking at them, and folding one inside the other.
Right.
And I'm like, it's no big deal. They're just freaking socks. Just let it go. It's no big deal. I couldn't stand it.
Right.
I went, uh, please don't do that. And I was trying to be funny, just like that. Could you please not do that? And like, why? You have pairs of socks. You just reach in and grab one and go. And I'm like, no, no, no.
No.
I said, take one of the pairs that you just did and unfold them. And she goes, okay. And I said, now put them side by side. One of them's bigger than the other. And she's like, oh. I'm like, one will eventually get stretched out. Then I'm gonna have to throw it away. Now you know,
Right.
instead of having 10 pair of socks, now I have 9 pair of socks with a straggler, you
Right.
know? So, and she goes, "Okay." I'm like, "That's just my boundary." And she's
Right.
like, "Won't happen again." And it didn't hurt her feelings. I
Good.
didn't, that's just the way she does it.
Right.
I do it my way.
Right.
Because there were times in that relationship where she said, I don't do such and such. We were talking about laundry. We're just
Right.
on the laundry kit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, got it.
Right.
And I taught her how to fold shirts. She taught me how to fold jeans. I mean, we did the whole thing. And she was pretty awesome because she made it fun instead of getting upset that I was telling her not to do something.
Right. Right.
So she felt comfortable enough to let me tell her my feelings. And she took them in, wrote them down, and said, all right. That's just one less thing I have to do. You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
made a positive out of it. So
Yeah.
I meant to cut that story more short, but
No, you're a good man. And by the way, you're supposed to stack the socks.
see, I do. That's what I do. I put them. I don't just like wad them up and throw them in there.
Oh, okay.
No, no. All my sock. Well, I have 3 different
Yeah.
types of socks
I know,
now.
I know. I'm just messing with you, man. I'm
And
just
now,
we don't have to talk about socks on the hip.
yeah, right, right, okay. But yeah, I stack them.
I'm just messing with you.
Wake up in the morning, just grab 2. I don't even have to look. I know
Exactly,
which one.
right? I'm
Yeah,
the same
yeah,
way. Yeah,
yeah.
grab two. I don't
Easy.
yeah, exactly.
So
So
yeah, good story. I like that. They have empathy. Well, we don't even need to talk about that very much.
Oh, yeah,
We've
that
talked
is
about empathy on this podcast a
yeah.
thousand times.
Okay, so here's a green flag that not many people will agree with. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Not afraid to disagree.
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one.
You know, difference between nice guy and kind guy. Kind guy's going to disagree.
Yes, he is. If he feels that what's going on
Yeah,
is not his liking or comfortable with it,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. You know, if somebody oversteps the boundary, he's going to be like, hold on, you know,
or she.
or she. Yes,
Yep,
exactly. Exactly. Like, look, that's not how it works with me, you know? And it's like, we're going to disagree on this, okay? We need to find a common ground, but we both have boundaries around this. So,
right.
yeah. But that's a hard one. I think a lot of people, when they first start dating, they don't want to disagree.
They want to impress.
They do want to impress. They do. They don't want to disagree because negative feelings are what start out on the date if you disagree.
Right.
And I disagree. I'm going to disagree with that point. You want to be yourself, even if that means disagreeing.
That's a tough thing to do on a first date or even the first month of dating.
I will agree with you. And it is
No.
tough for me too. But
Yeah.
there are certain things I'm more passionate about, and I will disagree, and I don't care what date it is.
Right.
There are some things that I will disagree with, but I don't think it's worth mentioning on a.
Like if I said, "What's your favorite food?" and she said liver and onions, I'd be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I know,
But
right? But go ahead.
never have to worry about me taking that out of your plate.
Yeah, I
As
know,
I'm just
right?
saying.
Exactly. Yeah. But if they said, if they said, "Hey, what food do you not eat?" and they say, "I'll never eat seafood," you'll be like, "Ooh, that's gonna be tough." Okay, we're gonna have to agree to disagree on that one because,
Yep.
yeah, that one's tough, and yeah, that's
And see, I would follow it up quickly with like, "Okay, so what are your feelings about seafood? I know you're not going to eat them, but are you okay going to a seafood restaurant and ordering
chicken,
chicken or a steak? Maybe it's a seafood steak, like
right?
yeah,
Right. See, now that's a great compromise because that is actively listening, actively engaging, and trying to find you're self-aware of your things and things like that. So yeah, I mean that's a great point. I
that's
love
a
that.
boundary you're
Yes.
both setting.
Yes, exactly. And so if her boundary is she will never go to a seafood restaurant and seafood's your top 3 food, yeah, you're going to have a problem. Let's just be honest.
Well, I mean, if the relationship's going really well and that's just one or two of the things that you disagree with, and hey, I'm in the mood for seafood. I'm gonna go get
Yeah, but here's the whole thing. Even me, I mean, both of our ex-wives did not like seafood.
true,
Okay, so let's just be honest and let's state that up front. It's not a negative. There are a lot of people who don't like seafood. Okay,
right?
and there are plenty of people who are allergic to seafood. So it's not a knock on any of them. But I will say that the one thing my ex did do is if it was my birthday or a special event, there are times where she would flat out say, wherever you want to go. You want to go to Long John Silver's? We went to Joe's Crab Shack because she would look at the menu, she would find the chicken dish. As long as they had something she could eat, that's all she cared about.
Right.
She did it for me.
Christy did that. Once in a while, she would actually cook seafood.
Right. Now, I don't remember my ex ever cooking seafood, but the
She
point
would have a
is
pin on her
yeah,
nose
exactly,
in the
right.
kitchen. She'd still do it though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but but the point is at least she made it. She did make an effort one time. She actually tried broiled tilapia, I think, you know, but it was for her, it was a consistency. There's something
Yeah, the
about it.
texture.
Yeah, it's a pretty common thing.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to mention that because having that, kind of give and take, it's okay if they don't like a certain food, but if they're willing to go with you, sort of like we went to sushi the other day and not everybody likes sushi.
Right.
So the first thing I did, as a friend group is I'm like, okay, well, they've got chicken teriyaki, they've got fried rice. There's plenty of other things for my friends to eat if they don't like sushi. I'm not going to go to a restaurant where there are some of my friends who can't eat. It just,
Right.
that's not fair to them.
Yeah. True.
So okay, sorry we went off on a tangent there. We're good. We're good.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
So the next one that I got,
Yeah.
it says the relationship moves at a comfortable pace.
Oh, that's a tough one, dude.
So yeah, when you start to like somebody, you want to move fast and quick and I want to get to know you real quick and let's just dig in and start acting like we're dating and let's just go.
Right. Exactly.
Everything's just normal.
Right.
You know.
Well, and so, the funny thing is that is probably the number one reason why a lot of people don't make it past the second or third date.
Yep. One
Because
person's moving faster than the other.
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. I mean, it happens to me, and unfortunately, that's just a fact. I mean, some people are not emotionally ready to move as fast. Some people are emotionally ready to just go crazy.
Jump right in. I'm
Right.
moving in tomorrow. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And but that is a huge one for a lot of I hear that more than I hear anything else for the reason why people stop dating.
Yeah, because they're both not on the same pace.
Yeah, they're not on the same page.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. They're both at a different stage in their life, a different stage in their emotional status, whatever.
One of them's been hurt, so they want to take it slow. The other one has come to grips with who they are, and this is the person that has the least amount of red flags, maybe however they say it.
Yeah.
Boom, I'm ready to jump in.
The most
Yeah.
amount of green flags and they're ready to yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not just negative, it's there's positives too. So, you could have a couple of yellow flags, but if they've got an overwhelming crazy amount of green flags, sometimes that's really easy to kind of look past. A little.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be perfect. You got to work on it every day.
Right. Exactly.
And I've been in relationships where after like a month, we're like, we're ready to move in together.
Right.
Let's go.
Right.
And that right there, because I've felt that I'm like, I really like her. I think it's awesome. We've been seeing each other for a couple months. We're talking every day. We're seeing each other every weekend. Why don't we just move in together? Well, people are trying to impress. So they're saying the right things and doing the right things. They're not very self-aware. They're more focused on the fact that they're infatuated with you. So they're going to try to make you. And then after 6 months, a year and a half, some people can wait that long. Then all of a sudden they go, okay, I'm comfortable. And then they let their guard down. They quit impressing. Then the red flags come out.
Right. Right. Now, see, that is really, I don't, okay, I'll just be honest. I don't experience that like you do. And so,
Yeah. That's true.
And the reason is most of mine don't last for past 4 days. You know,
Well,
ever since I've been divorced, I don't think I've ever dated anyone that lasted past 4 days. I
right.
either know or they either know. And it's one or the other. It's not one of these, it's like, I just don't see a future with you. And yeah, I could date you because you're fun to be around, but I don't want to date someone just, I want to date someone with a future. And I know that sounds really horrible, but that's just me.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't sound horrible because I'm the opposite. You're right. I will date somebody knowing that there's no future and continue to date them because we have fun together.
Right.
But when you do that, eventually the wheels are going to fall off that wagon and it's going to turn bad.
Right.
Always, always, always does. Cheating, lying, shady, it always happens. I
Right.
mean, unbelievably consistent in my past.
Well, but that wasn't what I was going with. What I was going with is the fact that you've had some very long term relationships, but it seemed like you didn't find the true them. And for your example, and
Right. Or
until
later, yeah.
yeah, a year later, 6 months, a year later, and then you're like, where was all this at the beginning? Because I don't know that I'd still be in this relationship if you were like this in the first month.
Who are you?
Yeah, I know,
Right.
right? Exactly. Exactly. So, I
So
mean,
getting older, I used to, wow, I really, she's attractive. I like her. I like her personality, blah, blah, blah. And I think that, and then now I'm like, okay, I haven't seen any red flags a day. You know, I don't know how long it's gonna last, but we're having fun right now, and I like you.
right,
So we'll see how it goes.
right.
You know,
Well, but by the same token, you're like, okay, this is my boundary, you know, and this is, where I want to be, and so, you want to be there too. This is my boundary, and
yep,
you've been really good about that. And so, even with your friends, you're like, this is my boundary. You set your boundaries with your friends, not just, dating, but friend relationships, work relationships. You, you know, I, I've been more proactive in that than most people have. Let's just
right,
be honest. Most
yeah,
people are more like you than they are like me.
that very true.
So,
We get ourselves into a situation that we probably shouldn't have, and then we start becoming sad and unhappy with ourselves, and then we lose confidence in ourselves, and all that.
right. Well, it
But
doesn't mean I don't either. I just some of my sadness is around the fact that I've set boundaries and it's very hard to find someone who will respect those boundaries.
right,
And that's the
the,
challenge.
yeah, the minute I find somebody that I think's attractive and is willing to know that they're half the solution or problem, however you want to say it,
No, yeah, good
they're
example.
willing to work on it every day, and they know they're not perfect, but you know
Right.
they're confident.
Yeah.
That's the tough part.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
Engaging. Yeah.
yeah.
So, okay. Oh my god. I look over at this, you're going to laugh at the first one I read. This is
Okay,
hilarious. Okay? Um they have good morals. And then this is the follow-up line.
okay.
Not a murderer probably isn't enough.
No, it is not.
I'm like, okay, all you got to do is throw the axe in front of murderer, and you're gonna get what people look at me and say, "Is he an
There
axe
you go.
murderer?" So, especially after the every day, anytime you can throw an axe is a good day on the singles event. That probably pretty much sealed it for me. Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
thinks I'm an axe murderer, so
Well, see, where are the boundaries on that? Because that's the thing I've struggled with my whole life is figuring out what kind of person this person is. How come I can't read to see the narcissism? How come I can't read to see that they're gonna cheat?
right. I know.
How can I not read their, you know, I'm learning more now than anything and here's a quick example.
Okay.
When people are lying, they blink a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So I never really thought about it. Now I'm looking at all these TikToks and Instagrams on how to get a side hustle. And this guy comes on, this is the easiest side hustle. And this boy was blinking all the way through the entire deal.
Right.
And I'm like, up, he's lying. I would have never known that 10 years ago.
Right. Right.
Some girl could look at me and be blinking all crazy. I don't cheat. I've never cheated in my life in going crazy,
I
you
know.
know?
I know. Yeah, or what is it, the if you ask them a question and they're left-handed and they look up and to the right, that means they're trying to find an answer. If they look up and to the left or down and to the left and they
Up and to the right, they're
create
making up a story because they're on their creative side of their
eh,
brain.
I know.
Up and to the left, they're accessing memory,
Yes.
and it doesn't matter whether they're right or left-handed.
Oh, is it? Okay. Cuz I read
I don't
somewhere sometimes that affects it.
well, I haven't ever heard that, and you might be right, but yes, I had got called out at work, and I looked up and to the left to remember a situation.
Right.
I'm in HR's office,
Right.
and they're calling me out saying that I did something that is a fireable offense.
Right.
And I sat back in my chair and I looked up to the left just like that, and I said, "No, this is what happened." And at the end of the deal, she told me, she goes, "If you would have looked to the right, I would have thought you were lying to me."
Yep.
And I was like, "Wow, that really works." I didn't do it on purpose. I was accessing memory
I know.
of
I
the
know.
situation that it had instead of coming up with,
Right.
some BS story.
Right.
And I
Well,
was calm the whole time
right.
because I knew I didn't do it.
Right. Well, that's your logical side of your brain.
Yeah.
This is
The left side's your logical, the right side is your creative.
your creative party, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So,
So, yeah, that's learning stuff like that is watching people when they're talking.
right.
Because if you ask them, "Hey, what'd you do the other night?" And if they go up and to the right, that means they're making shit up.
Right. How big was that fish you caught?
Yeah, "Oh, that thing was 37 inches." Oh,
Yes, they're holding their hand up. I
yeah.
love I love this one. Yeah, this big.
They're
Sorry.
blinking and looking up to the right.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
Blinking a lot.
lying
Yeah.
and making up shit. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my god, that's funny. But the good morals thing though, that is tough because
See, how do you learn how do you figure that out about a person?
that is a tough one. Okay, that one is my opinion is one that you won't learn for about 6 months. That is
I
really
agree.
tough. Okay, because or when you move in with sometimes then you start to see it a little more.
Right.
Because morals is one of those things you can put on a face and you can act a certain way and okay, and I'll give you a good example and people are going to hate me for this one, but here's a great example. People will go out, party hardy, get drunk, do all kinds of crazy stuff on a Saturday night, turn around, go to church on that Sunday morning and act like they are the perfect most whatever, and they'll judge other people for the way they're acting or the way they dressed when they came to church or whatever. Okay.
So true.
Okay.
That is so
Not
true.
not saying that okay, I'm not trying to say church people are bad. I'm just saying we know it happens. People put on a face. They put on an act because they want people to think they're good people.
Right.
And some people maybe say that's a bad example, but it's not a bad example. It's just I'm not trying to make the church look bad. I'm trying to emphasize a point of
Right.
what people do.
Yes.
It's the
They do that.
it's the person's fault. It has nothing to do with church. It has to do with the person because of the way they are. They're trying to put on a face.
How can you go out party, cheat on your husband or wife,
Right.
and then go to church the next day and everything's normal. How do you do that?
Right. Right.
How can you do that? Talk about morals.
Right.
How do you do that?
Now there have been people who have done that once, gone to church the next day, and they're like, "What the hell did I do?" They ask for
Devastated.
forgiveness, and they don't ever do it again. Okay? Those are the people who learn and who feel conviction, in my opinion. It's the ones that keep going back and doing it over and over and
So
over
I'm
again.
hearing you say that, but here's the deal.
Yeah.
And in my past experiences, once a cheater, always a cheater.
Okay.
Is there a one-off opportunity where it'll never happen again? Absolutely. I disagree with that.
Okay. So I will say this. I disagree with that.
If you are married and you cheat on your spouse,
Okay, but if you take marriage out of it, okay?
okay?
A good example is if I cheated on my girlfriend and then she turned around and I'm like, okay, that was stupid. I really
Right.
love my girlfriend. I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to cheat on her. I'm not going to do anything, okay? And I feel bad about it, okay? So
Okay.
there's that conviction is what I saying, the
Right.
morals, okay? And then she turns around and cheats on me. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Now I have that extra. First, I felt bad because I did something wrong. But now I feel bad because I know what it felt like or what I made them feel like.
Right.
So that's where I'm saying people can change. Most people don't choose to.
You're exactly right because if I'm going to back all the way up to the very beginning. If you have the attitude to cheat, that's never going to change
Well, and that's the difference. If you have the
99%
attitude,
of the time.
yes, yes,
If you have the attitude to cheat, you have that much selfishness in your heart to do that for yourself,
right,
no matter what the consequences are, you're going to do it again.
right, right,
I've
right,
never I've never in my 60 years on this planet ever seen a person that only cheated one time.
right. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Listen,
Your favorite line, because that's cheaters. That's what they
yep,
say,
that's the
right?
way
Is what it is. Okay, so let's
once
get
you've done
back
it.
to, but the
Okay,
good
yeah,
the good morals thing is a green flag. So if you can find someone who shares your morals,
yes,
okay. So a couple of examples. If you're pro-life, pro-life. If you're pro-choice, they're pro-choice. That's your morals. That's your definition of where you stand. And it's not a political philosophy. Let's just be honest. It's just a
right,
personal philosophy. People try to make it a political one. It's not. It's a personal
right.
philosophy. So I don't care which side you stand on. I'm just telling you it's a personal choice. So we're not talking politics. I'm not going to do that here. But the point is those are the types of things. If somebody doesn't curse and you do, but they don't like you cursing, that's a boundary and a definition of their morals.
Right,
It's a both, and so that's kind of where that goes. Drinking, smoking, boundaries, but it's also some people will look at drinking as a moral thing because they go to church and they don't believe in drinking. So that's
mm,
so that's where I kind of go. It's not just a murderer, it's more than that. It's probably, there's some women who flat out said they don't want to date a guy who doesn't go to church.
right,
That's their line, their boundary, their morals is they want someone who's active in the church and who's going to be with them and grow their family in the church.
right.
And there's
And there's
nothing
nothing wrong with that.
no, there's nothing wrong with that at all. So, okay, go ahead. Your next one. I'm sorry we dragged that one out a little bit.
No, because it's really interesting how these questions or these statements are kind of rolling into one another.
Right.
I think this is one of the hardest things for men to do
Oh,
to be good in a relationship, and it's gonna blow your mind.
okay.
They're willing to be vulnerable.
Ooh. Okay. So this one's
Very seldom do us men feel that comfortable in a relationship to let our guard down and be vulnerable.
okay. So this is a double-edged sword.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So there's a reason, and this is the challenging piece of it. Okay. Some people won't like this, but being vulnerable, especially for women and men, is very much a green flag. Men generally try not to be vulnerable in the beginning because it makes them look weak. And they don't
That's the
want,
whole reason it's so hard.
right. They don't want to
We're not
look,
supposed to.
yeah,
We're not supposed to. We're men.
right. Exactly. Right. And especially in the beginning of a relationship, it's a big turnoff if a woman thinks you're weak.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I hate that shit,
I know.
but it's a double standard. It's so true.
But the funny thing is, it takes courage and strength to be vulnerable.
Yes.
And women don't recognize that. From a man's point of view, it takes courage and strength for him to be vulnerable.
To
Because
let that guard down.
yeah, exactly. Because when he does, he doesn't know if you're going to embrace him, or if you're going to take that information and use it against him later.
Yes.
Or you're going to think he's weak and then you just don't want anything to do with him. There's plenty of scenarios here, but
That
men.
part I can go on for a while.
I know, but let's stick to the greens, the green flag side of it. I don't want to
Right.
delve into it, but I think that's a huge deal. And men who can be vulnerable, those are that's the greatest green flag, and I am glad they mentioned that because
Yes.
that takes an insane amount of strength and courage to do, especially with women.
On both sides of the coin, the women as well.
It's a little
She
easier
gets,
for women to be vulnerable, but I agree with you.
but
It's challenging
the
sometimes.
challenging for her is to be able to accept his vulnerability
Yes,
and not look at him as weak or,
in a negative fashion.
yes.
Exactly.
How
Exactly.
do you pull that off?
Ooh,
That's tough.
that is a tough one. But and
Yes.
that's the whole thing. So yeah, that is a great one. I really like that one. And because it is a challenge for men to be vulnerable, but it is
You
very
have to be
much
able to show your masculinity as well as your vulnerability.
right. But
And if women can't accept that, they don't want you to be vulnerable. They just want you to be masculine.
right. But the whole thing is they also don't recognize it as strength when it takes an insane amount of strength and courage
True.
to
Very, very
be
true.
outside of your nature, because it is not our
Yes.
nature to be vulnerable. So when somebody steps outside their nature, you got to look at that for what it is:
Right.
strength and courage. That's a great one, man. I love that one.
That one's good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This one's funny.
We need a funny one.
Doesn't run for trains.
Doesn't run for trains. That one's not computing.
Instant tick. Wait for the next one. But no, that one was a follow up to is witty without being mean.
See, that's where you set boundaries.
Yes.
You and I can cut up and pick on each other,
Right.
but we know how far we can take it.
Yes.
No. We
Yes.
don't ever get to that point where, I've been around campfires up in Bandera with some of the guys, and they're just gonna keep going and
R-
keep just hammering you, and putting you down and cutting on you.
Right.
Eventually you get to the point where it's a pissing contest to see who's gonna, make everybody laugh by using your emotions,
Right.
as a springboard. Yeah. That's not the way to do it.
Right. So I'm going to tell you something, and this is really funny because this is the way my family is. And if your family is not like this, you need to talk to them because this is pretty hilarious.
Okay.
Okay. And me and Nick are like this because I consider him family. So just it'll make sense to all of you. I don't pick at strangers.
Right. That's
Okay.
true.
I only mess with friends and family. And I mean, granted, sometimes it can get a little interesting. We're really funny, but there's a reason. Why do I only mess with my friends and family and not strangers?
Because you know your boundaries.
And they're not going to get offended because you know your boundaries.
One and two, they know who you are. They
Yes,
know you.
right, exactly. And
Yes.
they know I'm not there to hurt their feelings. I'm just messing with them a little bit.
Right.
My
Time to be
family,
silly,
we
shut up, get
always,
some money.
yeah, we always pick on each other. My family, and you come from the outside looking in and you're like, dude, they hate it. They must hate each other. What's wrong? Why are they always, dude, you never pick on strangers because you don't know if they're going to get offended or not.
Right.
And, a great example of that is I'm going to refer back to a story about Nick and a guy at work.
Just thought about that.
And, you don't mess with people you don't know because you don't know what the boundaries are.
Right.
So, but yeah, so that is, and look at it, folks, be honest with yourself. Is picking on a stranger, is that a nice thing to do?
Right. Got to
Honest,
know who they are and what their limits are before
right.
you start doing that.
Yeah. So take a little act of
Absolutely.
kindness and try not to insult other people because you never know when you will. So, but yeah, no, witty without being mean is understanding your boundaries, saying a joke, because here's the other flip side. If you don't understand their morals, if you don't understand some of the other things we've talked about tonight, yeah, you're definitely have a chance of being mean when you're not wanting to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, go ahead. Go ahead. You next?
You know, I read down through the rest of them. We've pretty much covered all of it. What? Did you read another one that was funny? Yeah, he did. No, I mean, we've kind of covered them all. The and it says you both have your own lives. Both take steps toward being better. Those kind of things. The one thing that I kind of like that kind of caught me by surprise is that they accommodate your needs.
Accommodate or meet. Yeah.
They accommodate your needs.
Right. They don't think of you as needy. They either accommodate or meet your needs. That's a huge one.
Takes time to learn what it means to be a great partner to you.
Yep. That's a good
And
one.
if you have somebody that does that, you're set. You're going to be there for 50 years
Yeah.
or until the day one of you says, takes a nap.
Exactly. Okay. I got to share
Right,
this
go
one.
ahead.
Yeah.
That one caught you.
Yeah. So this one was pretty hilarious. I was listening to Nick and I was actively listening, but this one just threw me for a loop and I lost it. Okay. So folks, I'm not going to lie. I've been, it's not very often that I lose it, but this was hilarious. This is a green flag. Are you ready for this?
Okay, yes.
Ask before they send nudes. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, wait, really? That's a green flag. They ask before they send it.
Well,
Okay.
I mean,
I know. It's just funny because it's like, okay, I asked, but I went ahead and sent it to you anyway. I didn't wait for your answer anyway.
right. If you hesitate, boom.
Yeah,
set of boobs.
exactly. I'm sorry, but
Well, it's polite,
it is.
it's
It's
accommodating, you know.
yeah, yeah, something like that, right? Oh my gosh. No, dude, that was hilarious. I'm sorry. It was yeah. Uh okay. And then here's another one. It was pretty funny too. Dogs like them.
Oh, see, I
But
always win over the family when I start dating somebody and I meet the family and they have dogs,
right.
and the dogs are up in my lap on the couch 5 minutes after I walk in the door.
There you go. Good. Nice.
And I've heard the dads and moms have said, "Up, you must be a nice guy because my dog ain't chewing your leg off."
Nice. Yeah. But to the follow-up line to that, what was but please check their pocket for sausages.
You know, I never thought to do that.
You put catnip if you go to see a girl with
If
cats.
they had yeah,
But you might get
put
attacked if you had catnip.
put a little bacon grease behind your
There
ears
you
and the
go,
dog's licking your
exactly.
face, you're like, "Oh, yeah, he likes it." Never thought to do that. That's a good
That's pretty
idea.
funny though. You gotta admit, that is pretty hilarious.
That is pretty funny.
Okay, this is a weird one. We're wrapping up the show, folks. It's almost over. But I gotta throw out a couple of these really funny ones that are just they really reached out to me. Owns a decent set of utensils. What the hell?
What does that mean? That means
I don't
you're
know.
ready to eat or you can cook, you know?
Well, I guess if they don't have a bunch of plasticware in their utensil drawer, they've got real utensils.
Well, yeah, somebody that actually is kinda digging in.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Single people that have plan on being single for the rest of their lives, they usually don't have a lot of settled down stuff, you know what I mean?
I
Like
do.
utensils, that makes sense.
I do.
Yeah, but you're not determined to be single your whole life.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, that's not what
You
everybody else tells me. Based on what
if
everyone else tells me, I'm going to be
we've
single
talked about
forever.
this. If you met a 50-year-old woman online with no kids and never been married, do you kinda take a step back? What's wrong with her?
No.
Because we're conditioned.
Yes.
Get married, grow up, get married, have kids, have family,
Right.
get divorced. She takes you for all your money, the whole bit. That's what it's for. Did I say that out loud? Okay.
Yeah.
But no, I'm talking about I've met people
Right.
that they're gonna be single. They don't a lot of times they very rarely date.
Right.
If they do, it could be years.
Right.
They always plan on being single. And I bet you if you go to their house is immaculate,
Right.
but it has very, very few utensils and probably a lot of to-go food.
Right.
You know,
Hey, that's
I'm
my house.
stereotyping, but whatever.
Yeah. You are stereotyping.
Whatever. So
Anyway, um, this is a really great green flag, and it's my final one because this one is a really important one. And you're gonna when I say it, you're gonna be like, damn, this is a good one. Refuses to dress sexy for the gym.
damn.
That is a good one.
That is definitely a good one.
Whether it's a guy or a girl, if they refuse to dress sexy for the gym, that means they're not there to impress anyone. They're just going there to get their exercise in.
Right.
That's a huge green flag.
That is a huge green flag.
Right. So I just wanted to finish with that one because that one was actually a good one.
If I was dating somebody and they were going to a gym and they got up, put on sweats and no makeup and greasy hair and went to the gym, yeah, I'd probably think about letting the government get involved in my life and I'd marry that.
That's saying a lot, folks. I mean,
I'm
that
telling
really
you,
is. That's saying a lot.
because
So,
I've seen men and women spend thousands of dollars on their outfits to work out.
yeah, for the gym. Exactly.
Yeah, you don't need that.
I know. I know.
You don't need all that.
Right. Girls in the whatever spandex as tight as hell, in a
Now,
sports
see, I
bra.
get a little bit of that because I understand wearing certain clothes like that keeps everything in place. Like wearing a sports bra keeps the boots from bouncing if they're going to be jogging.
Right.
I get that kind of stuff.
But why don't they wear a t-shirt over it?
Yeah, and some do.
Right.
Yeah, some will wear a sports bra with a short T-shirt or something so that.
Right.
But yeah, when you get all made up, I love those TikToks where the guy's like, "Where you going?" She's like, "I'm going to the gym," and she looks like she's going out to dinner.
Right. Yeah. Full makeup and
And it's like,
everything. Hair's
why
made.
the hell don't you wear them sweatpants you wear to bed?
Right. I
That's
love that
funny.
one. That one was actually pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
So that
There's a
that
bunch of them out there like that. Why you look all scruffy and scrabby when you go to bed, but you're all made up. That's the one thing I've never understood is, and this is a man and woman thing, because men could care less about what people think about them. Women care more about what a stranger thinks about her than the people that she loves.
or her
I
girlfriend than her husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I still haven't figured that out.
Right.
But I've talked to a lot of my friends that are girls about why that is.
Right.
And as a man, I don't get it.
No.
But
Yeah, we never will. But I do. I do get some of it. Okay? And you know why?
go ahead.
Because women are more judgmental of other women.
Well, I get that. That's the one part I do get.
And that's a fact. I mean, that's
Oh yeah.
not, yeah,
Because they're
100%.
gonna go, "Oh my god, did you see her in those sweatpants at the gym?
Right.
She
Right.
didn't have any makeup on, her hair was greasy. Oh my god."
Right.
I could see that wholeheartedly.
Right. And then if the same girl goes up there and she's like, "Oh, did you see that spandex?" And she had all her makeup on. Which guy is she trying to pick up? I hope she's
Yeah.
not messing with my man.
Yeah, she better not be screwing around on her husband because I'll tell him.
Yeah,
That kind of stuff.
exactly. It's like, what the hell? Dude,
Women.
she
All
can't
you
win
women are
for.
petty.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I'm gonna get my ass kicked for that one.
Yeah, you are.
If you don't hear me on the podcast next week, you know why.
Exactly. So,
Men can be petty too, trust me.
they 100%. And people
Uh,
can be petty.
oh yeah.
Let's get rid of the sex. It's just people can be petty.
People can be
Yeah.
I admit it, I have been petty on occasion.
On
So,
occasion. No, I'm just
on
kidding.
occasion. Yeah.
I'm just messing with you, dude. Okay. Well, let's wrap up the show. Any final words?
You know what my final words are, brother. I love you very much.
I love you too, man. And of course, we love our fans.
Absolutely.
Love to see you in a gym. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway,
I'm gonna spend 2 hours getting ready before I go to that gym. I'm just
there you
saying.
go. Exactly right. So,
I'm
no,
gonna get those spandex tight that makes my butt look good. I'm gonna have to have something under here to keep the chin up.
whatever.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be looking good.
Yeah. So, well, of course, we love our fans. Don't forget to subscribe. And send us an email. We'd love to hear back from you.
Absolutely.
So, I don't have anything else but to keep following, keep listening.